Are you ready to hear about the world's most dangerous and mysterious forbidden book? Shams al-Ma'arif. A book filled with secrets that have been hidden and deemed necessary to conceal for centuries. Why has America set its sights on an 800-year-old book? What secrets does the key within this book unlock? This enigmatic work contains numerous supernatural secrets, such as the key to invisibility, communication with metaphysical entities, and enchanting objects. In this video, you'll hear about the incredible events experienced by groups who have obtained the book. You must never read this book. I'll only explain why we need to stay away from it. Otherwise, you'll be responsible for whatever happens next. If you're ready, let's begin. The year was 1984. A letter arrived for Sirhan Taisi, the director of the National Library, bearing the signature of the Ministry of Culture. When Taisi opened the letter, he was faced with a request from the United States. We kindly ask that a copy of an old book in your library be made and sent to us as soon as possible. They were referring to the Shams al-Ma'arif, written 800 years ago by Ahmad al-Buni. However, instead of immediately making a copy of the book, Taisi decided to examine it first. This is where the first mystery began. For a long time, he flipped through the pages of this 2-volume book called Shams al-Ma'arif. Despite knowing Arabic and Ottoman Turkish, he couldn't make sense of the book. It was the first time he had encountered something like this. He immediately invited a scholar friend who was highly knowledgeable on the subject to the library and asked him to examine the book. The research revealed that the book was related to magic, astrology, sorcery, and a secret science known as Havas, which deals with special knowledge accessible to a select few. However, it spoke of things so extraordinary that it even explained the secret of invisibility. Such knowledge could only have been obtained through various metaphysical journeys. This was not information of this world. While there were exaggerated books of this nature available in the market, what made this book different was that it contained a key explaining exactly how to use this knowledge. Taisi realized that this was no ordinary book and suspected that the United States was after something. He first wrote a letter to the Turkish Ministry of Interior, then brought the matter to the attention of the National Intelligence Organization, MIT, the General Staff, and even the Prime Minister's office. We must never send a copy of this book, and in fact, we should destroy the key within it that explains the secret, he said. The response from the General Staff to Taisi was swift. We agree with your concerns and thank you for alerting us to this matter. Stay tuned until the end of the video. We're just at the beginning of the mystery. The year is 2021, and the location is Egypt. Hassan Rateb, one of Egypt's most famous businessmen, was arrested and handed over to the authorities. What happened during his trial, however, was quite curious. The businessman was accused of providing financial support to a 19-member gang connected with the illegal trafficking of antiquities. During an archaeological dig in Egypt, a country that likely still has countless treasures buried beneath its sands, this gang was caught, and the events that unfolded in the courtroom became even more shocking, shaking the Egyptian public. The gang's leader, Ayla Hassanain, was determined to have uncovered over 200 historical items from underground across various regions of Egypt before being caught in his final excavation. The most interesting part of the case was the gang's confession about how they discovered the locations of these artifacts, which were extremely difficult to find. Get ready to hear the truth uncovered by the Cairo Criminal Court. When the gang was arrested, they were found with an old book. Upon examination, authorities identified it as the Shams al-Ma'arif, written by Ahmad Ibn Ali al-Buni. During his testimony, gang leader Allah Hassanain explained, "While conducting these excavations, we used a complex method involving the use of red mercury to establish contact with jinn, who helped us locate where the artifacts were buried." The gang, which admitted to learning the method of using jinn to locate the treasures from the Shams al-Ma'arif, was sent to prison. Yes, it's known that jinn are aware of the locations of hidden treasures, and some treasures are even said to be specifically enchanted and guarded by them. However, it seems some people are unaware that they should be careful when it comes to working with jinn. After all, jinn are the last beings you should trust. Not only are they misleading, but because they have claimed many treasures buried underground as their own, they won't leave you alone. Even if you learn tips from a book like Shams al-Ma'arif and seek their help, they will either haunt you or cause your capture. Indeed, what happened to this archaeological gang was not much different. But there's more. The next incident occurred after the mass Hirak Rif protests that began in June 2017 in the Rif region of northern Morocco. After the chaotic days during which many lost their lives, a mysterious fire broke out in the home of one of the protest leaders who had died. Shortly afterward, the homes of 3 of his relatives and neighbors also mysteriously burned down. After these strange fires, fear seized the neighborhood. One of the deceased protest leader's associates took to social media to admit in a live broadcast that all these fires were the result of them using the Shams al-Ma'arif before these events started, and that the book was responsible for everything. In the first burned house, a copy of the Shams al-Ma'arif was found. So, what is the mystery of this book? What does it contain? Let's continue our discussion by first exploring the author of this mysterious book. Ahmad Ibn Ali al-Buni was born in the city of Buna, Algeria, in 1225 CE. He was a member of the Banu al-Buni family, who were leading scholars in the Maghreb region. Al-Buni received his initial education in Buna and later went to Fez, Morocco, to study with some of the most prominent scholars of his time. Living in the same era as Muhyiddin ibn Arabi, al-Buni eventually moved to Egypt to become a follower of Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jaziri, a well-known Sufi master. His spiritual practices focused on the spiritual aspects of Islam, and he became famous for his knowledge of Sufism, Islamic theology, and esoteric knowledge. His most significant work, which brought him fame, is the Shams al-Ma'arif, a comprehensive book of occult sciences containing an extensive collection of talismans, magic, and prayers. Al-Buni trained many students on the Sufi path, highlighting the importance of spiritual cleansing, deep thought, and spiritual transformation in his teachings. He passed away in Cairo in 1286 CE. The original manuscript of the Shams al-Ma'arif, which has been banned in many countries to prevent its abuse by the wrong people, remains unlocated. The book has been adapted in various regions of the Islamic world, each producing its own versions and editions. Today, many books bearing the same title can be found in Turkey. However, it is known that in consideration of the potential harm the book could cause, many of its secrets have been removed in newer editions. But what about the Shams al-Ma'arif, once pursued by the United States, held in the National Library? The news about the book in Turkey that the United States was trying to obtain, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, was first uncovered by the Yeni Safak newspaper. According to later reports, library director Sirhan Taysi mentioned that there was also a key explaining the book's secret, and they destroyed this key as a protection. So, what exactly does this book, whose current location is unknown, really reveal? How can a book that has gained significant fame in the Islamic world be considered dangerous, and by whom? Shams al-Ma'arif is generally known as a book of magic that contains a comprehensive collection of talismans, metaphysical elements, and natural knowledge. It is also one of the most important sources for those involved in esotericism. The book is divided into two sections. The first section addresses the theory of magic and its relationship with spirituality, while the second provides practical instructions for performing various rituals and spells. The first section explores the philosophical and theological foundations of magic, discussing the perspectives. It also delves into the mystical significance of numbers and the symbolism of various magical relations. As you may know from many of my previous videos, I've talked about the great mysteries of numbers and how the famous scientist Nikola Tesla pondered deeply on the connection between the universe's mysteries and numbers. The first section of Shams al-Ma'arif offers its readers solutions to these kinds of mysteries. The second section, however, deals with creating talismans, communicating with spirits and angels, astrology, dream interpretation, transforming substances into gold, the science of code and magic. According to Tacy, the book went so far as to nearly reveal the secret of invisibility. Islamic teachings reject the use of such secret sciences as a form of manipulation of natural and supernatural forces for personal gain. However, when we examine books like Shams al-Ma'arif, we also see that Islam has a supportive aspect in the pursuit of knowledge and the advancement of scientific understanding, including the study of natural sciences and even magic. Of course, this support must be guided by Islamic principles and values and should not be used for immoral or harmful purposes. While the use of talismans, belief in the power of objects, occult films, and the practice of magic are discouraged in Islam, we can still see that some secret sciences have been utilized as long as they are in line with religious values and principles. An example of the use of talismans can be found in the enchanted shirts of the Ottoman Empire. These specially crafted shirts were worn by Ottoman sultans and high-ranking officials during important military campaigns and other significant events. They were also given as gifts to allies and important figures in the Ottoman Empire. The preparation of these shirts took 4 years for each one. Even today, the secrets of these shirts, encrypted with special verses, hadiths, and symbols, remain unsolved. This world and the universe are still covered with many secrets that we do not yet know. We can understand from listening to the lives of those whom God Almighty has allowed to discover these secrets at various times, or from the works they have left behind. It appears that Shams al-Ma'arif is one of them. However, it is important to remember that anyone who attempts to read a book like Shams al-Ma'arif must have undergone both physical and spiritual purification and be someone who remembers God. Otherwise, we may either understand nothing when we read it, or the secrets we learn could bring trouble upon us and even harm others. Now, only one question remains. Where is the real Shams al-Ma'arif currently, and who possesses it? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally be responding to all of them. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.